The standard. In the instruction manual for our souls lurks a shadowed promise of relief from overwhelming loss. Isaiah 59:19 states, "When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." What can this standard be? What can have the power so profound as to rush in to fill the enormous hole that is caused by loss? And then it is labeled standard. I must admit, on the surface, that doesn't sound like a set of compassionate instructions to alleviate pain and fill the void inside. Then the evil triplets show up: would have, could have, and should have, trying to magnify the chasm of loss and turn it into a trapping pit prison, complete with shackles, bars, and constant torment. This word standard, according to the original language, is a progressive verb. It means to flee, to escape, but it also means to fly to the attack, to put to flight, to cause to disappear. There's a time of grief, a time that all you want is to escape the agony. Your hope is in disarray. A vital part of your heart has been stolen. The God-given power of passion that fuels your faith has been seemingly decimated. And there does come a time that you do retreat into solitude, trying to make sense of it all. Seems like you are drowning in a flood of emotions. Yet amid this turmoil of loss, a powerful truth calls out to us. We can hear it inside if we listen. It beckons us to look up. It is a quiet but powerful, encouraging voice located right in the center of our being. It is the voice of that standard, asking for permission to flood our inner being with light. Here is something very interesting that you need to know. When Jesus performed miracles like the feeding the 5,000 people, the healing of the man's ears in Mark 7, the word states that he looked up. That term means to look up to regain one's sight. Yes, it is true. Even Jesus had to regain his focus on the promises of our Father. Even as we are reeling from the physical loss that ensued, when the timing is right, and if the decision to look up is made, that still small voice turns into a thunderous rumble of a threefold promise from the Creator himself, producing a flood of hope that supersedes the destructive force of grief. This standard comes completed with enough force to fill every gap that grief tries to exploit. If we allow it, this standard turns grief into a motivational force that reinforces our resolve. It reminds us of who we are, what we are called to do, and the power that lies within us to avenge our loss. What is this standard that is being raised? It is the Spirit of grace, reminding you of a threefold promise given by your God. Reconciliation, the reestablishing of our relationships, according to 2 Corinthians 5:19. Restoration, bringing us back to a previous condition or position, as in the Garden of Eden before the fall. Spoken about in Hebrews 8:12. The renewal of all things, proclaimed in Revelation 21:5. It is a call to look up, to regain our sight, to refocus, and to allow the Spirit of God to flood our inner being so as to empower us once again to fly into the attack, reinforced for the treacherous journey ahead. In conclusion, imagine a future morning where sunlight streams through your window, birds sing in the garden, and the scents of summer drift on the breeze. You awaken feeling youthful and whole, free from all tormenting mental attacks. Bodily pain and fatigue have disappeared. Laughter and the sounds of running water fill your senses. Your family and friends are calling to you to join them, and you know it will be a wonderful day. This, my friend, is the threefold promise of our God. This is the standard. All things restored, all things made new. This is our heritage.